Hare Krishna. Welcome you all for our e-Gurukula sessions, and today is Thursday. We have a Krishna Lila discussion. So one of the reason or the most important reason for Krishna to accept is he is a worthy of taking shelter. He is a worthy master. Master to be worthy of shelter. So in this world we have to accept master somebody. Right, like in a home, father and mother are master for us. In the school, teachers are master for us. Go to company, a managers or a boss or a CEO, they are the master for us. And government, in the social world outside, government is a master for us. Right? Or otherwise nothing and all. Some people and this mind becomes a master for them. Mind guides them. But then when you accept Krishna as a master, the difference is what? All these other masters, what we mentioned, if they're good, surely they will help us in the present life. But then connection becomes lost in one sense, because everyone is a temporary in this world. And sometimes exploitation also happens when we work with the manager, when we work with the people outside, or sometimes unfortunately even our own relatives with whom we are living becomes difficult, and all we find many problems in the society. But Krishna is not like that kind of person. Krishna is all good. Today morning Bhagavatam class, Prabhupada was giving a very nice example. Somebody goes against Krishna, somebody becomes enemy with Krishna, is like a hitting a head on the mountain. What will happen? Let me hit my head on the mountain. He will only break. Mountain won't break. So taking enmity with Krishna, we are only stand to lose. But when we accept Krishna as our master, right, so then it becomes all good fortune for us. Not that Krishna is in a need, but for ourselves only. Krishna is Nijalabha Purna. He himself is satisfied. He doesn't need anything. But for our own good only he comes. And that's why Krishna is such a Lord. He gives up his godlyhoodness, and then he accepts a simple, the God who gives his godlyhood for the sake of his devotees, right? So that's why it becomes very interesting and amazing. The Godhead gives up his godhood. Right. So, and then he performs such amazing Leelas. That's why we have this Krishna Lila discussion. So let us see this Leela of Krishna, what we are going on, and appreciate that. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Shakhantamsha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantaradha Kantanamostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I think that episode is going on. No, yesterday till where all of you stopped?
It's like we are like kind of in the same place. Like there.
Krishna the Ranchor, no?
Yes, Prabhu. There only Prabhu.
Yeah. Reading from the book Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, continuation of the chapter 52. This book is by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Chapter 52, Krishna the Ranchor. So, marriages, 8 types of marriages. Yeah, Prabhupada had established. Yeah. And then the Rukmini was the one who don't want it. The Brahmana goes for the later. And Krishna advises how to be satisfied. Self-satisfaction is important. I think from here we'll read now. You all are able to see, na? Is it visible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Lord Krishna then desired to know about the rules, Kshatriyas, in the Brahmana's kingdom. So he inquired whether the citizens of the kingdom were all happy. A king's qualification is judged by the temperament of the people in the kingdom. Right? How the people are living. Based on that, the kings. Like, can you give some example? Who are the very good kings? The whole citizens were very good. There was a bad king, then everybody was suffering in the kingdom. Quick.
Bad King Ravana.
But all were living happily there.
because there were fire in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, because of the Ravana's foolishness and all, everybody suffered. Yeah, but of course, all were demons only living there, except Bibhishan and a few good souls, right? But they all got a reaction of that. Yeah, but especially the citizens are okay. They're not like a demons and all, but the king is a demoniac. Because of that, the good citizens also suffered. Now, in Ravana's example, correct, he is a bad king, but the citizens were also like that because it's all demons living there. But especially we're looking here, Prabhupada is writing, a king's position is judged by the temperament of the people in the kingdom. Like in a home, if a father is a drunkard, a father is behaving badly, right? Everybody in the family suffers, right? Mother, children, and all. Even let's say child becomes a naughty. Like a child is like a citizen, and father is like a king. Right now. So if a child is a naughty, he's a stealing and all, then father has to get a kind of a tension, anxiety. Or if father is a bad person, then whole family also has to suffer, either of the case. So that way I'm asking examples. Yeah, Divesh Prabhu, what you're asking? Yeah, correct. Yeah, this was what I was remembering. Yeah. Prahlad Maharaj father, correct. Hiranyakashipu. Everybody was suffering. Kamsa, right? Devaki, Vasudeva, they were all suffering. Vena was the one which we are looking for. Yeah. Vena was his father Anga was a very good king. But Vena, you heard Shubham Prabhu, Vena in the Bhagavatam comes.
No, Prabhuji.
Yeah, that's why I think you are not available. So Vena was a son born to the Maharaj Anga. Maharaj Anga was a very good person. But the son became the demoniac. And so much demoniac that father helplessly has to leave the forest. Then he tried his best to rectify him and make him a proper and all, but he did not. Then finally Vena became the king, but still all the citizens were suffering. So much so that Mother Earth had stopped giving the crops on because the demoniac roots. Our Yudhishthir Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj has been described when he was ruling, right? The Mother Earth was moistened with the milk flowing from the udders of the cows. So much profusely milk was just overflowing only extra. So much Mother Earth, Even it is described, the beauty of the kingdom of the Yudhishthir Maharaj when he was ruling was even envied by the King Indra, because he was so prosperous and so opulent. Even Devata, the Indra Dev, he was also feeling envious. Arey, how can he have better things? So everybody was living very, very happily there. The citizens, they're all. Prithu Maharaj also. Vena's body, when it was churned, Prithu came. And then Prithu Maharaj ruled in such a prosperous way. It is Bhagavatam says, nobody had a material desires. They were all freed of the material desires. So it's important. So that way Krishna is asking this. A king's qualification is just by the temperament of the people of the kingdom. So it's very important. So for us also to become the idol. Tomorrow you may become the CR of the class. Tomorrow you may become the leader of the society. Tomorrow you become the counselor or some guru for some people. So we have to keep ourselves very, very proper and perfect. Then the people will be things. Yeah. So if they are happy in all the respects, it is understood that the king is honest and executing his duties rightly. Krishna said that the king in whose kingdom the citizens are happy is very dear to him. See? So it is very important to take care of Praja. Of course, Krishna could understand that the Brahmana had come with a confidential message. Therefore, he said, if you have no objection, I give you liberty to speak about your mission. After all inquiries and all, now Krishna is saying, okay, now you can speak about your mission. Of course, Krishna is also eager to act upon that now. Rukmini, Mother Rukmini is in a great anxiety, they're awaiting. Thus, being very much satisfied by these transcendental pastimes with the Lord, the Brahmana narrated the whole story of his mission in coming to see Krishna. He got out the letter Rukmini had written to Krishna and said, these are the words of Princess Rukmini. So such a beautiful letter. Now you will read. Actually, there are very amazing shlokas. These are the translations or a summary of those things. But Bhagavatam gives amazing shlokas of that. The meaning is the same one. Modern days, the boys and the girls, they write a love letters for each other. But that is, God knows what level it is, and it's not at all this. But here, this is a true love story, a true love letter. Mother Rukmini has written a letter for Krishna. So Krishna should be the object of love for every one of us. So Mother Rukmini exemplifies that very, very beautifully. So tomorrow, if your teacher asks, write a letter to God. So this letter is the best letter, 100% marks. So Mother Rukmini gives that. I think we covered in our Wisdom Tale course also, if some of you remember. Mother Rukmini's episodes with the very nice pictures and details how Mother Rukmini has written a letter. So today's recording will upload now. We'll put that image as a title on that. We can watch. My dear Krishna, O infallible and the most beautiful one. Now, what is a strange thing, Prabhus, you all are finding from this statement? My dear Krishna, O infallible and most beautiful one. What little strange thing comes in your mind while reading this statement?
That she is saying, my dear Krishna.
Okay. That's good, na? Because Krishna is her dear. Means what sense? That's
Means Prabhuji, she is not married also to Krishna and not saying.
Okay. Yeah, basically she has given herself for Krishna, but that's why she's expressing her desire. Krishna is dear for her. Nobody else is dear. Anything more? Some surprising thing you observe in this statement?
Infallible?
Infallible. No, what's strange in that?
Means every person has chance to fall, but Krishna doesn't have chance to fall.
No, so
this
is straight only. There is nothing strange in this. That's obvious. But something strange I am asking in this statement. See, Mother Rukmini has ever seen Krishna till now?
No, Prabhuji.
No. But what she's saying? Most?
Beautiful one.
Yeah, most beautiful one. See? And people come in front of God and they say, show me God. I don't see the God here standing. They just see some stone or a statue. Mother Rukmini has not seen Krishna at all. She had just heard. That's why next she says, any human being who happens to hear about your transcendental form and pastimes immediately absorbs through his ears your name, fame, and qualities. So she had never seen, she had just heard, but she is concluding that Krishna is the most beautiful one. Yeah. So Divishpur is writing, we have to see through our ears. Correct. Right. What is that shloka Bhagavatam says? Krishna, no. Ye tu tvadiya charana mujakosh gandham jigranti karna vivare shrutivatanintam. Jigranti karna vivare. So through karna, we get to taste. Now through ears, how can we taste about Krishna? Yes, because you can hear about Krishna and then you can taste Krishna's beauty. You can taste Krishna's sweetness. So that's why we should have this. That's why Mother Rukmini represents ideal for all of us. How she has been learned about Krishna and developed so much love just by hearing. So we can also do then in any of the place where. So of course, by Prabhupada's grace, we have temples, we have the devotees all around. Mother Rukmini's case, if we see, she was like kind of locked up into Rukmini's plan. But see how these things, hearing is as such a power. So just by hearing, one can absorb immediately. Thus, all his material pangs subside, and he fixes your form in his heart. So, in the 9-fold devotional process, whose example is given for hearing? And hearing is at which position in the 9 processes of devotional service? Hearing is a which number? Hearing is at which number? You can unmute and say, na?
The first Prabhuji, Shavanam first.
First. And who is that personality whose example is given for hearing? Ideally. Hearing is perfected by
Prabhuji Parikshit Maharaj.
Parikshit Maharaj. Correct. Yeah, I saw all of your chats. But we want to hear from you because hearing is the yes, it is a Parikshit Maharaj. And that's why we find all the great personalities. Parikshit is an ideal. Mother Rukmini is an ideal. So anybody wants to become a devotee, hearing is the heart of that devotional life. That's why in our ISKCON Prabhupada constituted everyday hearing Srimad Bhagavatam class without fail. Every day in the temple you'll find Bhagavatam class will go on. Whether festival or not festival, whether the rains or no rains, everyday class will go on. Or even if devotees are not able to go, they will hear themselves by watching the recordings or things and all. But make sure everyday hearing is being done. So hearing is a food. Hearing is that fuel which will make us devotional life to alive. It's go on. So that's why it's very important. Through such transcendental love for you, he always sees you within himself. And by this process, all his desires are fulfilled. So we can see Krishna. Like a Narada Muni also, we see Narada boy. He saw the Lord within his own heart. Right? By he heard from Bhakti Vedantas, and then he followed the process. And then Supreme Lord also appeared and instructed him. And then he intensified his devotion and saw the Lord inside his heart. Then she says, similarly, I have heard of your transcendental qualities. Now she says, I may be shameless in expressing myself directly, but you have captivated me and taken my heart. Like modern people, they make some Hindi songs, Chura liya mera dil, something like that they say. These are all false imitation of what the Krishna has performed the episodes. So our heart is also stolen, but not by Krishna, but Maya. And we're giving ourselves for Maya. And we're captivated by the illusory energy of the Lord. But here Mother Rukmini is getting captured. Nowadays, people feel shame for taking to Krishna. Like today, we went for one college for announcing about Bhagavad Gita program and a contest and things. So everybody looks each other only. Nobody was writing the names who all want to take Bhagavad Gita and part in the contest. Then one boy wrote, then second boy wrote, okay, fine, everybody's writing, then the name started coming. So people feel like kind of some shame. Oh, if I go with the tilak outside, what people will think? If I go with the shikha and a shaven head, what people will think? So, because nowadays worldly things have become so much at peak. Somebody takes to the God looks like little odd man out. But we have to at least understand what is odd man out really means. If we, huh? What? Yeah. So we should not feel any shame when we take to Krishna consciousness. Rather, we should be very, very confident and very, very bold. Of course, we have to be sensitive in which crowd we are in and which place we are in to exhibit. Yeah, Kalyuga beauty seen by hairstyle. Yeah. So these are all things that there. But at least in heart to heart, we should be convinced, and surely we should express to the crowds if it is favorable and things and all, and if we are also confident. But we should not get bogged up by seeing the outside people. Like let's say now some of you go for the hostel life or some far off places. Later also we'll see, or in the class also some people may be taking a lot of movie songs and things and all going. And everybody is enjoying in that, and I am now a devotee. I have learned I should not be doing. How odd it will look that I am not there. Rather, we should feel sorry. These people are dancing in the hands of material energy. Rather, we should dance in the Krishna for Krishna purpose. So better we can take a leave that day, or maybe engage ourselves into some other program or other activity. But we should never feel, because now we feel insecurity because we are less in number. We are alone in the class who is doing Krishna consciousness. Others may not be. But we should not feel any these things. So Mother Rukmini, you see, nobody was there for her. But she was not ready to give. She made a step by writing a letter, sending a Brahmana, daring that let him go and at least Krishna may hear my prayers and things and all. So that shamelessness should not. In your school, it happens that. Okay. Yeah. So we have to be keep this proper philosophy in mind. You may doubt my steadiness of character, since how could an unmarried young girl like me approach you without any shame? Especially for a girl's chastity is very important, and she's not supposed to associate with the boy in such a relationship. Obviously, there is no question in such level. And normally nowadays, school, college is a co-education and things. So you can keep only working relationship just for the sake if it is involved. Otherwise, also there is no need to involve ourselves. We can make a team with the boys and complete the things. Not to say that they are bad, but it is not a good for us. That's the point. But then such level that the girl is writing a love letter to the boy, then surely a big question, no? So that's why Mother Rukmini is writing that point. You might be doubting my character. How can this girl is writing a letter to me without any shame? But then she says, my dear Mukunda, you are the supreme lion among human beings, the supreme person among persons. So where we find Krishna's description, he is a supreme among this, he is a supreme among that, he is this in that. Where we find anybody knows? Huh?
Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, where? Good. Where in Bhagavad Gita?
No, opulence of the absolute, I think 11th chapter.
Not 11th. Yeah, correct. It's 10th. Yeah. Opulence of the Lord. And 11th chapter, it becomes the biggest of universal form. Yeah. So in the 10th chapter, we find Krishna says, I am this and that. So you see Mother Rukmini, how she has exactly heard. Right? Narad Muni has surely spoken Bhagavad Gita only. Because in a sense, Krishna's greatness, Krishna's amazing character. That's why she is telling. You are the supreme lion among human beings. the supreme person among persons. Any girl, now she says very, very important. Any girl, though, where cursor went? Yeah. Any girl, though not yet having left her home, or even any woman of the highest chastity, would desire to marry you, being captivated by your unprecedented character, knowledge, opulence, and position. So this is a point she says. Any girl or any woman, she should aspire to have a husband only Krishna. Right? So that's why she's like, naturally people want to have a best relationships, the topmost people in their relationship. Everybody want the best. Your all desires will be fulfilled when you accept Krishna. Very simple. Finish. That's why Krishna is a worthy to take shelter of, as we were speaking in the beginning. I know that you are the husband of the goddess of fortune and are very kind toward your devotees. So she heard also, right? Krishna is having a Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrama Sevyamanam. Right? And but then Krishna is a very kind to his devotees also. Therefore, I have decided to become your eternal maid servant. So she is not wanting relationship with Krishna for the sake of her enjoyment, but she wants to serve. My dear Lord, I dedicate my life and soul unto your lotus feet. I have selected your lordship as my husband and therefore request you to accept me as your wife. You are the supreme powerful, O lotus-eyed one. Now I belong to you. If that which is enjoyable for the lion to eat is taken away by the jackal, it will be ludicrous affair. So what is this ludicrous affair and how this happens? And that we'll see in the next week reading. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So very, very intoxicating discussions these are. Because the devotee is expressing his or her full heart to the Supreme Lord. And that's the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam. That it brings out such amazing examples so that then you and me and every one of us can learn. Take our baby steps, at least giving committed time for Krishna in our practice and giving our our honest and truthfulness or developing this quality. This is very far thing for us, but at least we have to accept Krishna as my ultimate. That theoretically actually should be convinced, and practically we can take our steps by following and admiring and then adding in our life and increase that more and more and more as we grow, so that when we are leaving our body, it becomes 100% fully Krishna conscious. Then Antakale Jamameva Smaran Muktva Kalev. We go back to Krishna. So today's exit question. What Mother Rukmini is aspiring? Why Mother Rukmini wants to marry Krishna? What she wants to become after marrying Krishna? One word it is written. Mother Rukmini, after marrying Krishna, she wants to become the... Yeah, okay. Diveshwar is writing with a question mark. Yeah, is it doubtful or 100%? Should we lock your answer or? Yeah, correct. Yeah. Devesh Prabhu, Jashit Prabhu, yeah. That's not exactly there, but the exact word is said maid servant. Correct. So we want to become the servant of the Lord, not to enjoy the Lord. People use Krishna and Radha relationship for their own false enjoyment. In the name of God, they will do all wrong things. But the purpose of establishing relationship, Jivera Swarupa Hoy, Krishna era Nitya Das. Just want to establish a relationship with Krishna so that Krishna will accept our service and will be engaged in his service. So that we'll discuss in the next week reading. At that point, we'll come about jackals and lions. There'll be more. Thank you all very much for joining, for all of your active participation. Let us end with the Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
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 Hare Krishna.